This video is going to show you how to solve a type 2 radical equation. The first step is to get each radical on separate sides of the equal sign. You're going to algebraically move one to the other side because you'll see that both of them are here and it's equal to 0. I'm just going to add 4 cube root x plus 1 to both sides in order to move all of that. So I'm writing 4 cube root of x plus 1. And I'm going to also add it on the other side of the equation. So when I do this, I'm left on the left side with the cube root of 2x plus 2. These cancel out, and it equals 4 cube root x plus 1. So now both radicals are on separate sides of the equal sign. Please note that sometimes they're already like this. If they are already on separate sides, you do not need to do this step. And you're going to keep the a value, so in this case the 4. Don't try to eliminate it, just leave it. So our next step is we're going to raise each side of the equation to the same exponent to eliminate the radical, just like we did in type 1. So I'm going to rewrite my equation here. Exactly like I have it above. And I'm going to cube both sides of the equation because these are cube root. So when I do this, the only thing that happens is the radical or the cube root goes away. There's nothing to put in my calculator here. So I just have 2x plus 2. But on this side, because that 4 is not in the radical, I actually need to cube it. So I'm going to write 4 with a little 3 so I know to cube it. And then my x plus 1 will just come out of the radical. So I'm going to rewrite what I have. 2x plus 2. 4 cubed is 64, parentheses x plus 1. So now I have eliminated the radical. I am going to now attempt to solve the resulting equation. So in order to do that, I'm going to rewrite what I have here, but I actually need to distribute 64. That means I'm going to multiply both of these terms by 64. So I have 2x plus 2. 64 times x is 64x. And I have my plus 64 times 1 is 64. And now I have a multi-step equation where I can get x by itself. So in order to do this, I like to move my x's to this side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract 64x from both sides of the equation. So on this side, I'm going to have negative 62x plus 2 equals, these cancel out, 64. Minus 2 on both sides. So I have negative 62x, these cancel out, equals 64 minus 2 is 62. Adjust the screen so you can see. All right, we're almost done solving. So the final step in solving here is we need to get x by itself. So we need to divide both sides by negative 62. When we do this, x equals negative 1. Just like we did on the type 1, we need to check for extraneous solutions. So I'm going to sub negative 1 into my original equation. When you rewrite it, it's going to look like this. Cube root of 2, and then I'm going to put my negative 1 in parentheses. Right there, and then my plus 2. So I'm doing this to the original equation. Putting in negative 1 everywhere I have an x. And I am going to plug this into my calculator to get an answer. When I plug this side in, I get 0. When I plug this part in, I also get 0, and then I have equals 0. Well, does 0 minus 0 equal 0? That is true. So x equals -1 is a solution. Please note that in both of these examples, our solutions are real solutions. Many times you will have extraneous solutions, so it is important for you to do this final step.